All right, so I'm trying to count here. I don't know that we even have a quorum to start the meeting. 6? 7?
You have a
No,
quorum.
6. Okay, all right, so let's officially begin. So welcome, everybody. Good morning, Happy New Year's. Nice to see everybody.
Yeah.
Your holidays were wonderful. So my name's Emily. I don't know necessary to introduce myself to everybody, but in this role, I guess is where I was going with this is um, over the holidays, we received resignation from David Anderson. So the position of the chair of the HRC is vacant, and I am willing to step up and assume this responsibility. I'm not sure if Joe has additional comments he wants to make about that moving forward and how we fill that position for the chair, because I honestly, to do both the keeping the notes and the minutes and running the meeting is a little bit challenging, and I would prefer if we had more people involved.
Yep, Emily, annually the commission should take election of officers or conduct an election for officers. So I would recommend that maybe that's the first thing you guys do today is assign or find a new chair, and ideally it'd be a chair, co-chair, and secretary.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. Well, let's make that the first order of business then. But I'm also again realizing that not all of our members are here. Did we receive information from people who are not here? Joe, do we know, or should we wait for them, or do you know if they're coming? Or
I haven't received anything. I would recommend that you proceed since you have a quorum and the commission is capable or authorized, I guess, to make official business.
okay, very good. So so again, just the first order of business is for us to identify officers. And so as Joe mentioned, we have a chair, a co-chair, and a secretary. And so let's accept nominations. We'll open up the floor for nominations for the chair, the position of chair and co-chair.
I nominate Emily for chair.
Me too, I would.
All right. Oh gosh, well, I'm flattered. I also want to be honest with you and respectful of this role of chair and to my other obligations. I know I'm going to be taxed and stretched too far. I'm honored, I'm flattered. I've just recently accepted the position of the president of the Bowling Green Community Foundation, in addition to being the chair for Not in Our Town. I just really feel like I'm going to be stretched too thin. So I'm happy to continue in the role of secretary if you guys are willing to have me do that. But thank you, LA, I appreciate that, and Akiko. So do we have another nomination for chair? And do we nominate people who are not here? I guess that's probably not. You know, the one thing I will say, and I'm sure that everybody here is very aware of it, that what often happens is those of us who are here right now know, because we're actively involved in the groups that we choose to be involved in. And often what happens is 20% of the people end up doing 80% of the work. But it doesn't have to be that way. I feel like if we're all here and we're committed to be active members of the HRC, then we can spread the responsibility so that not any one person or a few people are feeling like they're doing more than they can handle. I don't want anybody to feel that way at all. I don't think that we want anybody to feel that way. So, but if we go into this process of nominating our leadership, then, and recognizing that we all are assuming that responsibility of leadership and making sure that this is a quality organization and commission and represents the city of BG well. We've also been given a charge by our mayor and his desire to see this group be more active and be do more things, more beneficial to the city. We have some suggestions for things we can do from our council members too. So I just feel like, I just thought it was important to say that we can really do some amazing things, but it's going to take all of us. So. Anybody? We're looking for nominations for the chair.
I'll just say for myself, my wife is a week away from a C-section. So Emily, I feel kind of maxed out right now. I'm just wondering, is there anybody that is interested or willing that we could, you know, or willing to self-nominate for the role?
Yeah. And congratulations, Rob. That's going to be exciting with the new baby in your house. Yeah,
Yes,
that is a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, it's totally understandable. Okay, well, how about if we do this then? And Joe, I don't know if this is okay with you. We've got some really important work that we have to complete today.
Yeah.
Because we've got an amazing event and a very important event coming up in less than 2 weeks. If it's okay with you, can we proceed today and get through our work, and then maybe at the next meeting we can look at creating a new chair? Would that be okay?
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely, Emily. Yep, that's perfectly okay.
All right. I just feel like that gives everybody time to think about it. Also, maybe at our next meeting we'll have a full slate of members here and present. And we'll put that in the minutes, and we'll ask people to consider stepping up into the roles.
Sure, sounds great.
Okay, great, thank you. So in our agenda, let me just pull that up real quick. We've got, starting with the minutes, we need to approve the minutes from the November meeting. It's been a while since we met. Can we have a motion to approve the meeting minutes from November?
So moved.
Oh, and who is that? Can you say your name for me, please?
Rob
Okay,
Smith.
great. Thanks, Rob. Is there a second?
I'll second. Carol Bell.
Okay, thanks, Carol. All in favor, raise your hand, please, so I can see. All right, great. Thank you. That passes. So now we're going to move along now to the housing report, and we have Matt Snow, who is the City of BG Housing Specialist, here with us today. So, Matt.
All right, thank you. We've had no fair housing landlord-tenant complaints. But we will be increasing our ads for fair housing. That's going to include PSAs with Spectrum, which will go out for 2 weeks each month throughout the year 2021. We'll also be advertising in the BG News, the Sentinel, and the BG Independent with different fair housing ads regarding different issues. We'd also like to encourage any member on HRC or anyone that you know that's experiencing housing issues to have them reach out to our office, because even if we can't help them directly, we have resources we can get them in touch with, address any issues that they may be encountering. And that goes along with the housing repair programs as well. If anyone's experiencing any housing issues with repairs needed, definitely have them reach out to us. That's all I have for this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Matt. I think that's really important too, that as members of, as community members, this awareness, and especially now that live 9 months in the effects of this pandemic, and recognizing that people are struggling in many ways, and it includes housing. So that may be one thing that we want to continue to share publicly, so that people know that there's assistance available.
Yes, definitely.
And where they can go for help. Yeah.
Right, because even if we aren't the appropriate department, to address their issues. Like I said, we definitely know all the different resources in the community, and we can be their first stopping point to get them in touch with the correct entities.
Very good. Yeah, that's so true. All right, thanks, Matt.
All right, thank you.
And so then that brings us to the mayor's report. So Mayor Osbacher.
Morning, everyone. It's good to see you all. Hope you had a safe and happy holiday season and happy new year. I really don't have a report, but just a couple of comments. First of all, I wanted to comment on the good work that's taken place in terms of organizing the Martin Luther King Day event. I'm really pleased that the event is taking place this year. It would have been maybe easier to not do it this year, but I applaud the creativity and the efforts of the group to put together a virtual event, and I'm looking forward to being a part of that. So thank you for asking me to participate. I am looking forward to it. Secondarily, I did want to mention that, as you're all well aware, there are a couple of openings on the commission. I have been working in an attempt to fill these spots. At this point, I've not been able to identify citizens that are able to serve at this point. So I wanted to kind of throw it out to all of you. If you're aware of anybody, friends, neighbors, acquaintances that you think would be interested in serving on the commission, I would be happy to consider those recommendations. I'm going to ask that you forward those to me via phone call, email, whatever's the easiest. I'm eager to solicit your input and consider any recommendations that you might have. So feel free to contact me when it's appropriate or you're able. And that's all I got. I'm looking forward to see you all in a couple of weeks on the Martin Luther King Day event.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I think that's another important thing too, you know, as we go about in our daily lives and the groups that we are involved with and the places we go and the people we know. There are people out there that would do a tremendous job on this commission and in other organizations. And so, you know, we wear that little recruiting hat as we go about our day, you know, looking for people. Hey, you'd be perfect at this, you know. And don't be afraid to ask. Sometimes that's all it takes is just the asking, you know. Anyway, all right. I get going on things here. So now our financial report. Joe?
Okay, with the new year, you have a new budget. So $1,600, $1,600 was appropriated with the 2021 budget for HRC. That is the same amount that you have received in the past. So your account, so to speak, has been refilled.
Okay. Great. Thank you. So it goes, now we're at the chair's report and we don't really have a report.
Emily, if you don't mind me saying real quick,
Yeah.
there are two additional guests with you today. David McDonald,
Oh.
our city IT manager, and Jake Hildreth, one of the employees within the IT office. I asked them to sit in on this so that they could help maybe provide a technical expertise to the MLK virtual event, and then how we would do that, probably via Zoom, I would imagine, and then interface with YouTube. But I asked them to sit in on this so they can understand what you are wanting to do, and then how we can make that happen.
Very good. Thanks, Joe. I apologize for not mentioning that earlier. So welcome, David and Jake. Nice to have you here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll definitely be relying on your expertise for our upcoming event. So thank you so much. And suggestions and ideas and things. So then I think that brings us to the NIAT report. And I think that is another area that, you know, when we're looking to fill that position, I mean, I'm happy to give it because I attend, but we can spread that responsibility to other members. That would be wonderful. Yesterday, our meeting, we spent the majority of the time talking about the events that occurred in the Capitol on, what day was that? Tuesday?
Wednesday.
Thank you, Wednesday, yeah. The last 24 hours seemed like about 72 maybe, or something like that, I don't know. And we framed our conversation around learning from that event, and that making sure, what can we do to create a Bowling Green? We always, our focus and our conversation is always around imagining a safe and welcoming and inclusive Bowling Green. And that we could learn from those events and create that so it happens here in Bowling Green, that's safe and welcoming, inclusive, or so that doesn't happen in Bowling Green, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then we also were working on, I had a conversation about our upcoming annual interfaith breakfast and how that might look, or whether or not we'll have it. All right. Ellie, do you want to give us an update on our Facebook page and our interactions there?
Yeah, I haven't had a lot lately, obviously expecting to put stuff out for MLK, but if you guys have anything, you can feel free to send it to me.
Okay. Yes, we will definitely be able to promote our MLK event on that, on our Facebook page, and in other ways too. Okay, so now that brings us to our old business on the agenda. Just a real quick update on the Community Reads. I think I may have mentioned this the last time. We had 75 people register, which I thought was phenomenal. I know when I was working with the Wood County District Public Library and staff there, and they were trying to help me temper my enthusiasm by telling me that there may be only 25 people, Emily. And I didn't want to believe that. And I'm happy to share that that's, it didn't happen. We've had a really good response. So our last session is going to be Monday. People are still welcome to join. I don't know if you know anybody who had been thinking about joining and haven't joined it. We just ask that they register, and then we can get the information to them to participate. So again, Monday is our last session. And then now that brings us to the majority of our focus for today is going to be on the MLK celebration. I'm also, just listening to this group in November. There was a lot of enthusiasm for having this group, and we committed to having this event, and we committed to doing it, and we talked about how we can make it happen, and so we did, and we're moving forward with it. It will be a virtual event, and we have laid the foundation for it. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to skip back and forth between the screen and my notes and the agenda. What we need to do today, again, just to review what we've already established, the event will be held on Monday evening, January 18th. It will start at 7 o'clock. I'm not sure that it will go an hour. I don't know. Right now, I will be honest with you, our agenda has lots of open areas we need to fill, I think, in order to make it a nice event. But that's some of the decisions that we need to make today. We have secured an outstanding keynote speaker in Jennifer McCary, who is the Chief Diversity and Belonging Officer at Bowling Green State University. And if any of you have ever seen her speak publicly, first of all, she's an amazing person, human being, but she really is a talented public speaker, and definitely she has obviously knowledge and experience and understanding and background on diversity and belonging and social justice, but she adds this incredible charm in the way she presents, and that's me describing it. So I'm really excited that she is going to be joining us for the evening. And then of course our work today would be to identify who our Drum Major for Peace Award will be, who will be the recipient. And I think, I sent information to you earlier in the week and asked us all to start thinking about who that might be. And then I included that descriptive paragraph to think about the person. It's given to a BG citizen who has made significant efforts to further the betterment of human relations by actively promoting justice, peace, and respect, and who exemplifies Dr. King's character and values of courage, truth, compassion, dignity, humility, and service. So with that, I really was hoping that we could create an open dialogue and discussion. We, myself, Ellie, and Anthony, actually, I think it might have just been Ellie and myself, created a list of nominees that we presented to you. I'm not sure if this is even all inclusive. There may be others who should be considered. In fact, after I was writing all of this, I did think of somebody who we did not include on the list of nominees, and that would be Moja Bing Kamala and the work that she's doing at the Welcome BG. But I think that our list of nominees is good quality. So maybe the best way to do this is to go down the list and consider each person or each group that's on the list and talk about their work, the contributions that they've made as it reflects the Drum Major Award qualities. I don't know. Are there other suggestions for what's the best way to do this? This is what I was thinking.
I just remember that somebody suggested, maybe 2. Is it possible to 2 or 1,
Yes,
that might be it.
that was Steve sent an email to the group suggesting that we did have 2. And he encouraged us to honor Neocles.
Neocles, yeah.
And then a second. And then he also suggested that we honor Brave with an award.
So I just wondered, if we consider 2 or just this one has to be 1.
It's Akiko, it's HRC's award. So if you'd like to award 2, then I think it's fully within your powers to do so.
Oh, I see. Mm-hmm.
I think another thing is we have like a lot of these great nominees and we haven't like given out an honor roll in like a year and a half. So a lot of them can be considered for that as well. Like we don't have to just push them to the side.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. I thanks for mentioning that too, Ellie. That's another area that we want to be able to resurrect. We haven't done that yet this year. So let's first talk about Neocles, an incredible person, and his role in Bowling Green cannot be understated, and the things that he did and the work that he did, and it's a it's difficult to talk about it because it's a tragic, untimely death. So I don't know if the city is I know the city had a resolution in his honor. Joe, do you know if the city is planning on doing anything beyond that, or no?
The city council, as you mentioned, just passed a resolution honoring Dr. Leontis. And then when or if his family is comfortable to do so, I believe council would like to present that to them during a council meeting.
Okay. All right. So, and he has done amazing work. I think now Anthony is not here today. I have to admit, I admired Neocles from afar. I did not know him personally. So I can't speak that way, but of course he did, anybody who is active in Bowling Green, email Ellie and I. He shared that he felt that Neocles would want this award to go to a person of color. He felt that was an area that in Bowling Green was necessary to happen, to recognize the work of people of color. So, and again, I'm kind of paraphrasing. Ellie, do you want to add anything to that? I should probably pull up that email so I can share it. And I don't think Anthony would mind that I'm sharing this at all. I think he would, if he were here, this is what he would say, I think. Ellie, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I was talking with Anthony the other day, and he was kind of like saying the same thing. Like, I didn't know Neocles very well either, but I know like Tony had a better connection with him, I guess. I think especially in this year where last year, 2020, where like there's this whole movement, it would be a good idea to have a person of color.
Okay, and I'm not, and then we can come back and consider, so I think Neocles is definitely deserving. So let's keep going down the list so we make sure that we've got a real good understanding about each one of our nominees. So the second one on the list is Anna Brown, the Director of Office of Multicultural Affairs at BGSU. She's also very deeply involved with Not in Our Town, and actually has been from the beginning. And if I could say, I do have interactions with Anna. She is the perfect example of a person who does work behind the scenes, so that the things that she does are not necessarily known in the general public. But the work that she does is, she has some amazing skills at teaching skills, and she is a person of color, of course, and not of course, but she is. And what's the word I want to say? The teaching skills. She working directly with the students at BGSU, and also in the community of Bowling Green. Not mitigation. I can't think of the word I'm trying to describe, but she does so well. So I think she's a very, very, very deserving of this award, in my opinion. So then continuing down the list, So and Amal Shaheen. Amal was on the HRC, I think last year, right? And they've been very involved in the community. They've now retired, but I think they've given tirelessly and generously over the years. I know for Not in Our Town, I don't know if anybody here is aware of this, but for the last 7 years for the Interfaith Breakfast, they have donated all of the food. Whenever we would try to offer to pay them for that, they would refuse. If you think about that, generosity is pretty amazing. And then another group the next person on or mentioned on the list is Brave, the group that Anthony is the director of, Black rights, activism, visibility, and equity. Relatively new in Bowling Green, but definitely have made an impact and done some amazing things since they have started. And then the final consideration is Not in Our Town, and the work that they do. So is there further discussion? And maybe we even getting into the area where people can say what their thoughts are and where they're leaning. Share information that maybe the rest of us don't have too, about your interactions or your thoughts, your experiences. Anybody?
I would assume that none of these nominees have received this award before, because I really don't know, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Okay.
And in fact, I pulled that up, Carol. It was the list of recipients this morning when I was preparing for the meeting.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see if I have it. It's on, no, I think I
did see that one time, but it's been a long time. It's been months since I saw that list.
Pull it up real quick. And then I'll share my screen so you can see it. Akiko's on there.
I know. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, let's get over here.
Yeah, at that time was surprising, actually. I didn't know it
Uh-huh.
until I went to the meeting. So that was,
Can I share my screen, Joe, or not? I don't think I can.
Let me make you a co-host. Hold on.
Okay. And it's not, maybe, I thought it might be good for us to reference it real quick so you can see the groups of people.
Okay, there
I
you go.
actually, okay, thank you. So, you know, this is the 32nd year, which is pretty amazing. And you can see, trying to scroll down here so you can see. Okay, so that's the list of recipients. Do you need me to keep this up, or is it okay if I take it down?
Mhm.
Fine. If you take it down.
Okay, all right. So
I think if
other
there's
things-
any, I'm sorry, I think if there's any year to nominate Neocles, this is the year. I wouldn't see any reason to wait a year to recognize all the wonderful things he's done for the community. But I agree that maybe a second award, because, you know, it's honoring him posthumously, makes sense as well.
Yeah,
So I don't know what people think about that, but I think this is the time to do that. I wouldn't see a reason to wait for another year.
I agree. If we nominate him, you know, we should have another person, you know, that second, you know, so sort of a different, you know, way. So better to have this, you know, another person too. And then, you know, to make some more sense to have two, you know, because normally we did have one. And then also normally we did have a little kind of a talk, I remember, you know, that the person will have a little.
Oh, by the person that wins? Okay.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody who wins will have a little short talk, I guess, you know, because they have already prepared something, right? So, but of course, in his case, it's not. So, I think it will be nice to have another person. And then if we have a two, I would think that, you know, Neocles is going to be a one. You know, that kind of makes a reason to have two. Too. So that's what I agree with you.
So am I just gonna, I want everybody to recognize too, it's important that we're all sharing honestly and what you're thinking, and because we don't want to dilute this award in any way. And sometimes what happens if people are thinking things and they don't say them, we're not aware of them, but we want to be able to consider all thoughts about this. And while I am not, I certainly recognize the amazing work that Neocles has done. I'm not sure if in comparison to say Anna Brown, his work in social justice and reflecting what this award is about it pales in comparison to what Anna has done. And I don't mean that in a judgmental way. But Anna, every day of her life, in her work and in her personal life and how she interacts in the community, has been about, I know, totally reflects what this award is about. And so I'm wondering if honoring Neocles could be something separate than the Drum Major Award that this group could do. And I guess I would just also ask us to think, is it necessary to give two awards? Because in my mind, I think if we do give 2 awards, then it does start to dilute the value of the award and the meaning of the award. Not to award, I agree, Neocles needs to be recognized and his work needs to be recognized, but I'm not sure if it's this award that does that, especially when we look at the other nominees and how they match so carefully with the criteria of the award.
Mhm.
I think the other thing is this year in our community has raised awareness about social justice and about the value of people of color. And if I think about even further, I think about the value of strong Black women in our society and how they've long gone unrecognized. The work that they've done has been silent and it's been behind the scenes and they haven't been given the recognition that they deserve, in my opinion. But again, and I'll just be really honest, I just feel like Anna Brown would be the perfect recipient of this award. There, I put all my cards out on the table, but
Yeah, I agree with Emily. I was going to suggest that maybe if like giving Anna Brown the award this year and right after, and I could like even take the head on this, but like in February, if we give Neocles the honor roll, I think that could be more fitting, like as a community figure, especially because that's more of like a news publication sort of thing. And like we honor them at city council. It's not like giving a speech or anything like that, you know?
Mhm.
I don't know anything about Anna other than what you just said, so it works for me.
Yeah, it sounds like honor roll is good because she, instead of just only this one, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine for me.
Yeah, I like the idea of recognizing Neocles and with the honor roll. Like
Honor
you
roll.
said, I think it fits better. I agree with that.
oh. Any other suggestions or thoughts or discussion?
Yeah, I know Anna, because of multicultural, that department, that, the, what do you call it, the office does a lot of things, and it is true. She works sort of behind, not too often, compared to the other directors of that multicultural, program, because I've been working always, with that office. And she's certainly, keeping it herself in a kind of behind, but I know that she's directing it. Okay. So compared to the other directors, definitely they are coming out always, whatever that, kind of events and stuff. But yeah, I know, I think she does.
Anna is the epitome of a person who lifts others up in everything that she does. And she's a lovely person. And I just feel like she's quite fitting for the award. And again, a person who would shun the spotlight, that's because that's who she is. But yet she absolutely deserves to be recognized for what she does and has done and does every day that people don't know about. So are we, do you want to, let's make it official and we'll do a vote. And do you want to consider the others on the list of voting? I think, should I list all of them or do we want to just narrow it down and vote amongst those we've narrowed down? What do you guys think?
I think we can just vote amongst those we've narrowed down.
Okay, so it sounds like most of the discussion was around Neocles and Anna. Or have we made our decision? I guess I want to hear from you guys. We can make it official in a vote So let's do that, and then we'll proceed after that. How about all of those in favor of, so we're voting now to identify the recipient of the Drum Major for Peace Award. All those in favor of Neocles receiving this award this year, can you just do a show of hands? Okay, and all of those in favor of Anna Brown receiving the Drum Major for Peace Award, we can see a show of hands. And okay, so we've officially decided we'll give the Drum Major for Peace Award to Anna Brown this year, and then with the understanding that we can honor Neocles and do a really wonderful job with an honor roll, maybe next month, or however quickly we can put it all together with a really, in a really high quality way. So he gets the recognition he deserves from this group.
Emily,
I like it.
during the event, traditionally you have one of your members introduce the recipient and then provide a brief summary of what that person or group has done. So
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have thought that or not. I don't want to impose, but I thought it might be a good time to mention that.
Yeah, well, I actually had that on our agenda, and that is notifying the award recipient. Is there somebody in the group who would like to do that? To take on that task? To make sure that they're there, we want to make sure that they're going to be joining us that night. I will do that. Since I do interact with Anna pretty frequently. Okay, so now this gets us to a very important, the nuts and bolts of the event. And that is, we've got a lot of holes that we need to fill. I'm calling them holes because if you look at the agenda, and I'm going to share my screen again so you can see what we've got already in place and what we still need to work on. And that is the music. Because, events are lovely with music, I think. So what this is this is the written program that has been used in the past, and I just pulled it up and plugged in what we have and what we still need to do. So the welcome will be given by our mayor. We're grateful he's going to be there. Then the Pledge of Allegiance is on this, but I'm not sure if that's appropriate in a virtual setting. So what do you think? Do we keep that on there or should we take that off? Everybody?
I don't see a problem leaving it on.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay. So then we just need somebody who would lead the Pledge of Allegiance. Do we have somebody who would like to do that? I wonder, that might be something Justin would like to do. I don't know. I don't want to volunteer people who are not here. Anybody? Nobody? All right, let's leave that blank for now and we'll come back to it. How about, we need to, musical selection. So this is also going to be a challenge because we can't have public performance.
Singing.
Yeah.
They'll have to Zoom it.
Yes, and that's what I'm happy that our IT guys are there because, in the event that we were able to have, sometimes the quality in a performance in a virtual setting is, lacking, but I don't know what our IT guys can pull out for us. We did hear, I think, Ellie, did you say the Madrigals are not available?
Yeah, I'm guessing not, because when I reached out to them in November after we talked, she said that they need to get moving fairly fast. And since we still had details to work out, it sounded like it probably was not going to be able to be them.
All right. Does anybody know a piano player? I don't know.
We have a piano / organist here at the church. We also have a graduate student who plays for us sometimes. So maybe one of them would be available for instrumental.
Oh. So now this is so that would be awesome, Rob. And then if we would need to set it up though, so that I don't know if they would be in the church when they performed or when they played.
Well, yeah, and that's what we've done some things like with community worship services during this pandemic where we pre-recorded it and then somebody has put it all together. I don't know with the tech guys for the city if that's would be better than trying to capture it live, or I mean, I can't commit that they are available that Monday night, but I'm sure one of them would be available between now and that Monday night to record a piece.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So that's great. So if we do record and then they, you know, they wouldn't have to be there Monday night, but we would have a musical performance to add. What about that, David and Jake? Would that be a possibility if we had a recording, or what? How would that work for what's available with the IT department?
That would
think
just be a
we'd be able to-
video. Yeah, share
go
the
ahead.
video, share your screen and do a video. I mean, play the video. Not a big deal.
Okay, and does the quality come across pretty well?
Whatever the quality is of the video originally will be the quality that it displays.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right, good.
So
Yeah,
what-
much better than having a microphone in the room and yeah.
So
Yeah.
it would be, Emily, whoever your master of ceremonies is, who's kind of the ringleader of the virtual event, would be the one assigned as a co-host, just like I did for you right now. And
Okay,
you would share your screen and play the video as Jake is describing.
right,
And
right, okay,
instead of it, you would just stop it and stop sharing your screen.
okay,
Am I
yeah.
speaking, Jake?
So what do you guys think? Does that sound okay? We should
Mhm.
proceed that way?
Sure.
Okay, great. Rob, would you ask the people, one or both of the people that you have in mind? We actually, we have the musical performance was listed twice in the program. So,
Yeah, I can certainly ask. Do you have a direction of what kind of music? What sort of music are you looking for? I mean, do you have ideas of pieces, or do you leave it up to the musician to decide, or some direction?
well, again, in the past, if you scroll down in this
Lift every
program,
voice and sing. Yeah, we've got that in there.
that was one, and the audience participated in that. That was one that was led by the Madrigals. And then everybody in the audience sang too, because that's a, very iconic piece. That's a beautiful piece. That would be one, definitely. And I'm certainly open to the artistic, suggestions and designs of your pianist, what they might feel would be appropriate for an event like this.
Okay.
And with respect to the short amount of time that they have to prepare, they may have already some comfort level with one piece of music rather than trying to learn a brand new piece of music between now and, the 18th.
Right.
Yeah, we're a little bit behind the 8 ball on this one, but we're going to keep forging forward and do our best. So I think, whatever the musician feels comfortable with will be fine. That reflects and matches this event. Not Stairway to Heaven or In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida or anything like that, but
I'll check with the musicians once we're done here today, and if for some reason they don't feel up to it or can't do it, I'll let you know immediately. But otherwise, I'll
yes.
email you the files or share them. Probably they'll be too large to email, but I can share them via like a Google Drive or something, so you can download them on your end, and then
Okay,
whoever's emceeing can run them.
okay, that sounds great. Thank you, Rob, so much. And anybody else who, like I said, if Rob, if your musician has 2 selections in mind and we might be able to put them in twice, I'm going to also check with my contacts at BGSU and see if we can get some musicians from there.
What about-
Yeah.
What about
Yeah.
Sheila Brown? I think she has performed in the past, hasn't she? Sheila Brown?
She did. She
Yeah,
did
she's
last
fine.
year.
Yeah,
Okay.
she sang every year, I think, Like,
Every year?
I think almost every year. I don't think I attended last year. I was out of town, but before, every year I attended. I think when she was the member of the, this committee,
The committee, yeah.
yeah, she sang. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and that was my understanding too. So
Mhm.
we
But-
certainly can reach out to her. Does anybody know her to contact her?
she has some kind of a studio, right, for exercise studio now.
Yeah, I think that's what she does.
That's how I know her. She was teaching an exercise class when I attended, but that's no longer happening.
Okay, so does anybody have contact with her and they could reach out to her and invite her to
Let me
join us
see.
and perform?
I'm
Ooh,
looking.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm looking. Hang on.
Okay.
I
Email.
don't know. Oh, I do have a phone number. Would you like me to contact her?
Yes, if you would, I think that's certainly an option.
Okay. I
You
will
can,
see if
you know,
she, go ahead.
see if she's willing and available. I know last year in this event, she had a performance that was dedicated directly toward Mayor Edwards.
Mhm.
So I haven't seen her in the past. That's the only time I've seen her sing at one of these, but I haven't attended every single one either. So
Yeah, I have never heard her sing, so. Okay, I will contact her as soon as this meeting's over
okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
and let you know.
Emily,
Okay.
have you heard any more from Anthony? I know he mentioned a couple of times with music and singing group.
That's exactly right. I have not had any response from him. Ellie, have you had a chance to, has he said anything to you about that?
I reached out to him at the beginning, like when you and I had first met, but I can ask him again today.
I know when we, the last we spoke, he suggested that Voices of BG, they're amazing. They had a recording that may be available for us to use. And then when we also talked about a piano player, Anthony does play the piano, and he said he may, he would be willing to do that also. So I think it would be great if we could hear from him if he's available or if Voices of BG is available, because that would be really cool. Have that second.
I think students are coming back this weekend, so maybe,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
Monday we are starting classes, so.
right. Yeah. So, and again, it is short notice for them, though. It'll be, 1 week out. So but maybe somebody's got something in their repertoire that they'd be willing to share with us. That would be so nice. All righty. So in the past, this event has always partnered with Not in Our Town. And so that's why that appears on the program. You guys want to continue to do that or not? What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think that sounds great.
Okay, all righty. Okie doke. And then the next part is the actual presentation of the Drum Major for Peace Award. By the way, we mentioned MC. Joe mentioned it. Now as I mentioned it, I actually I know Ellie had this role last year. So if everybody's comfortable, I would like to invite Ellie to consider being our MC for this year also. Ellie, would you do that?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, awesome. So Ellie will then introduce the Drum Major for Peace Award for Anna Brown, and we'll have something written up for Ellie to share there, and then we'll introduce Anna and then ask Anna to speak. We'll have another musical selection, keeping our fingers crossed that we get two. And then that brings us to our keynote speaker, who is Jennifer McCary. And I'll get, you'll notice in this program, it's Dr. Sheffer, who was the speaker last year. I'll take that out, of course, and put in a bio for Jennifer. And so now let me hear from you, honestly, because I want this to be a really good quality program. Are we missing anything? Is this realistic? Is it going to work? What? Go ahead, Akiko.
Yeah, because we are going to do the Zoom, right? So we need to put the link, to be everybody, in the community knows. So how
That's
we
right.
would spread out, the link, to the people. So that's
Okay.
big thing, I think.
Good. That's a good question. And actually, it's the next thing that we want to talk about is actually the promotion of the event. And so we created that I don't know if you noticed or not, but then the City of BGE newsletter, this went out on this Wednesday. There's already the pieces in there that we created, and I had sent it in an attachment to you. I can send it again, but now we want to start thinking of each one of us, start thinking of ways that we're going to share this in the groups that we participate in, as civic groups. I listed the BG Ministerial Association. I'm wondering, Rob, can you get this information to them?
Yep.
To share. Great, thank you so much. And then, civic groups like Kiwanis and Rotary and Exchange, and there are others who can reach out to them. Anybody? Nobody. Nobody. Okay.
I
Do
don't
you
have a
email
connection.
or some kind of,
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. I don't know who, I don't even know who they are.
I can.
Yeah,
I got it, Emily. If
okay,
no one
well,
else.
and here, this is public information. I think it's, I'm just speaking from my own past experience having to do this sometimes, where you look, you can Google the group, look for the name of the leader and send them an email and just very politely request, can you share this with your membership? Everyone is welcome to attend. Please encourage your membership to come, to join us on this night, to celebrate an amazing person. And then also to, I think this is another area that as members of HRC, we want to get practiced at and feel comfortable with promoting Human Relations Commission. Because I think if you ask people in our community, they may not even know who we are. This is a whole nother topic of conversation, but promoting HRC and our brand and the work that we do is all part of things that we want to focus on as a group. I think we can talk about that later, but
have you put together a press release?
I have not yet, but I have that on my to-do list unless somebody else wants to do it.
Yeah, I don't mind doing it. I was just gonna ask, where would be like if we say, oh, you can find the link here, it'd probably be easiest to say like, oh, you can find the link on the city website, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to make sure that was something we could do before I like go saying that everywhere and then
yes,
it's not
If,
there.
if you need a short, easy to share link, just let me know what you would want the link to appear as, and I can get one set up for you in a couple minutes. So.
Oh, that'd be great, Jake. That is really nice because it's wonderful, especially in the social media, for just a real quick, link here and get more information.
Yep.
Or to join the event itself, and then you can add some in when you're contact with your groups and verbiage it, tell them to, mark your calendars. Those are other little buzzwords and phrases that you can use to encourage people to participate. I don't know, honestly, I'm with the rest of you. I don't know what our participation level is going to be in a virtual event. And then on a Monday night at 7 p.m., I don't really know, but that's what we want to do, is promote it so we can get people there. All right.
I can do the university women.
Yes.
And
wonderful.
yeah. And also some of the departments in arts and science, the College of Arts and Science, I'll be able to ask.
Thank you.
So it would be nice is that if we have all this program, first, that one is a program and then a link, that is a set. I guess the link can be made right away, right? So link, and then we'll be able to, put the link in there and then please push it, And if we can make the link because I have an event, right now is I'm working on,
Yeah.
and then I think we can make the link in the Zoom and register, and then we know how many will be. You can make the link in the Zoom. I know if you click it and then if you will be able to attend, and then please register, and then they can register, their name, and then we will be able to even make it, if you're a student or the community people, or it's just any kind of little things you like to know, and then they can, you will be able to do it. So if by any chance get more than the capacity of the Zoom participants, and then we have to make it bigger, right? I think it's up to the normal one is 300 and 500, so that I don't know the cities, things, but it could, if you think that you might like to know what type of the people attended and then students or things like that. We could.
I don't know. That's a question for the IT.
We do need, if we like to know how many participated in the Zoom, we'll be able to do that too.
Well, we can record all that. I mean, isn't that, Jake, isn't that the way it works for the YouTube channel?
The YouTube channel is recorded, but we can also have anybody that wants to participate view it via Zoom or via YouTube in real time as well.
Okay.
So not everyone has to be Zoom.
Yeah, the only people that need to be Zoom would be, people that are going to speak or otherwise participate.
Right.
If they're just viewing, it could just be on the YouTube page.
What I was thinking, Emily, is the event would run pretty much exactly like your meetings. So those actively participating, talking, and having an active part in it would receive the Zoom link. And then those that simply want to be in the audience and watch would watch via YouTube Live. And it's a live event, just like your meetings. Your meeting is up right now live. I know for a fact at least one of our favorite journalists, Jan Larson McLaughlin, is on watching. So it would be very similar to what we're doing right now.
Okay, very good. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then Akiko, I don't know that it's necessary for people to RSVP. And then, I don't know, did that answer your question, Akiko?
Yeah, I just wondered, if you are interested in, if the committee is interested in, how many will attend, or, or later, if you like to know, what type of the people attended, if
we won't know the type of people, but we will know the number of people that watched via Zoom. Yes.
Yeah.
So if we like to know what type of the people, community or students, or and then you have to do the registration, I think.
Right. I don't know. Is that important for us to know who attended?
I think since we're at the last minute.
This is exactly what I'm
planning here. No, we just want to get the word out and have people actually watch at this stage.
Yeah.
Is this link on what you're sharing here, the bgohio.org meetings? That's our YouTube link then?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that's the one that we would be sharing with everyone.
Yeah, that's correct. And it was a little bit was too many words to put in this graphic, so I just listed the link itself.
Okay.
But you might want to add that extra explanation, as people this is where you go. Just go to YouTube. It's this, City of BG meetings, their channel. All right, so questions. I want to be mindful of the time too. I'm seeing it's already 9:04 here, and I know people have commitments and things. But I don't want to cut any off, but please, if you have suggestions or ideas that you would like, to add, you can contact us.
If you guys want to put in an email, a few different organizations that we want to contact. I mean, so Kiwanis is in my head, but other than that, if you want to just give me some ideas, I'm happy to I don't mind looking up the information and getting that to the people. So it's no big deal.
Awesome. Well, the
I'm just
ones
not
that-
sure who all to hit. So if you guys have, if somebody wants to just send me
Right.
email
So
links
Kiwanis-
or emails of ideas, I'm happy to look it up.
Rotary would be another group we'd want to hit. The Exchange Club. There may be others. Those are the first ones that come to mind for me.
Okay.
So I'm going to table the new business there. Well, things that we can talk about at our next meeting, we'll table that. Are there any announcements that anybody wants to make?
Emily, I'll issue a press release if you'd like.
Awesome.
And I'll
Okay.
get them out to the Toledo news channels. And then just so I'm clear and we're all on the same page, IT will create the Zoom link. They'll start the meeting and get you on YouTube Live like we normally do for meetings. Who should we assign as co-hosts?
Well, Ellie, for sure. And how does that work if we have a speaker, like, for example, a speaker from not in our town? Would they need to be a co-host?
No, they don't need to be a co-host because they can unmute themselves and they can start and stop their video if they choose. The co-host is really who's going to be playing the musical video or sharing their screen.
Okay, can we get back with you on that
Yep,
one,
yep,
Joe?
absolutely.
But
Yes,
we still have some additional work we have to do.
sure.
And then the other thing, real quick, Joe, I noticed in the e-newsletter that, you know how I sent you 2 of the graphics? The one that got used on Wednesdays was the one, didn't it said City of BG, and then it just said HRC. It didn't say Human Relations Commission.
Oh, okay.
Remember how we talked about that, and then I created an updated one. So if you wouldn't mind, you could go back and I can send this to you again.
No, I got it.
Okay, all right, good. All righty, so let's see. And then I think unless anybody else has any comments or suggestions. So we're going to continue to communicate through email about details here. All right, guys. I appreciate all of your input and your effort and desire to make this an amazing event because we're honoring an amazing person. Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., as well as our Drum Major Award recipient. All right, can we have a motion for adjournment?
Oh, sorry.
Who is that?
Ellie.
Okay, Ellie, great. A second?
I can second Akiko.
All right, thank you, Akiko. All in favor? Raise your hand. Great, all right, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful